Phase 2 of dealing with the Great Chicago Flood begins, pumping the estimated 250 million gallons of water out of the freight tunnel system. And Mayor Daley is on hand as a Chicago landmark opens its doors for the first time in a week. This is Fox News Chicago. Good evening, everybody. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Chris Long.
And I'm Robin Robinson. A week to the day since the Chicago River first flexed its muscle, there are encouraging signs of progress in wrestling with the Great Chicago Underground Flood. Tonight, our special one-hour edition of Fox News Chicago covers the next round. Now that the hole in the river is plugged, engineers turn their attention to pumping out the millions of gallons of water filling underground tunnels and, of course, basements. As workers move back into City Hall and the county building, still more questions of who's at fault and who's going to pay for the damages. And Mayor Richard Daley lends a hand, the one with his wallet in it, to help reopen the Marshall Field State Street store.
All right, now that it appears the worst may be behind us, disaster officials moved into the second phase, draining 250 million gallons of water out of the flooded tunnels under the loop. We have several reports tonight. First, let's go live to Al Waters at Wells and Taylor, one of the drain sites, if you will. Al, what's the latest out there?
Well, Chris, what you see behind me here is where engineers have tapped into a tunnel owned by Commonwealth Edison that runs under the river. The tunnel last week when the flood started, that tunnel was also flooded, so the engineers tapped into that. What they're doing now is they're running pipes from here. They're pumping it out. It's going along. This is about a 30-inch pipe that you can see beyond this fence, and it's going down about another 100 yards into the deep tunnel project. Now, they actually started work on this operation last Tuesday, but Mayor Daley and his top advisors made stopping the flood their top priority, putting this project on hold until today.
That's 3,000 gallons of water being poured into the deep tunnel every minute. While on the other side of the river at the main post office, another battery of pumps is drawing the floodwaters down at a slightly lower rate. Under the careful supervision of Mayor Daley and other top city officials.
We've been lowering the water on this site at about 2.5 inches per hour.
This operation is a lot more complicated than the original plans had called for last week before the Army Corps of Engineers took over. Then, the Water Reclamation District said it would tap into a Commonwealth Edison service tunnel running under the river, which had been flooded, and drain the water off that way. But Army Corps engineers say that could cause the freight tunnels to empty too fast, which might damage the tunnels, even leading to a collapse. So under the new plan, engineers have greater control over the flow from one tunnel to another.
Water level is dropping at about 2 inches per hour, pretty consistent throughout the city in the locations that we are monitoring. Some of our consultants that we brought in to discuss this with us in our higher headquarters and such think that we can certainly increase the rate